Hey guys, so this is another thoughts video. Today we'll be talking about Dana. So when I first saw this character, the first thing I asked was, what's up with these cats? That's definitely something that I asked myself there. So let's hear her voices real quick, what she has to say.
I dream of going to the Light Tower Library. Where is the God of Naya?
So she does bring two important points there, and I found it really interesting, so definitely wanted to check her story there, so we are going to do that just now, as her story is surprisingly interesting. So, in her town, nobody really knows her much because she spends most of her time in a library, checking books, reading, and all that. And they also mention in her story that she's really a really faithful person. She believes in the Naja Church religion a lot, and she studies to get more knowledge of all types of subjects there. However, all of a sudden she starts to have the power to actually experience characters and stories like if it were her own experience or real life. So that gives her the ability to experience the good, the bad, and the ugly of Antia. That's exactly how the story says it. So there, since she has access to all that and that ability that she has, she starts to actually be attacked or influenced by evil that she finds in her books. So mages inside her own books, these characters that come to life, teach her how to create these little kitties that protect her from these dark forces that are inside her books. And she actually learns a lot of things, like for example, how her glasses that she has there, she learned how to craft them from the characters in her books as well. That's pretty cool. However, the her story also mentions that evil comes in many forms, and it still got to her. So that's not good for her at all there. So there was one moment in which she started to follow Francis. Well, let me show you Francis real quick. He is this evil-looking priest dude here. And I'm not gonna go into the whole Francis evil priest and then Pope Francis in real life. I'm not gonna go into that rabbit hole. Uh, yeah. So Dana starts to follow Francis, and while she's following her, she notices that once I'm not sure if it's student subject that does not believe in all the gods and religions and all that of the Naya Church, ask him a really tough question, and she comes in and she answers the question really intelligently way, and it's such a good argument that the guy that asked the question that is not really faithful pretty much got stunned and didn't say a word. So Alden, which is from the Light Tower faction, comes in, and he was amazed of the answer that she gave. So he asked her a question of his own, and he really liked the answer that she gave him there. So at that time, Alden comes in and invites her to the Light Tower Library, which is, as you heard, one of her dreams to go to that library. However, do take into account that aside from Snape, she is the only second person. She's the second person to ever, outside of the Light Tower, to actually go into the library. So, and Alden was able to actually detect what was in her mind, which were the cruel experiments that they were doing in Light Tower to humans. So Alden detected that, and instead of Alden killing her, which trust me, Alden is very capable of killing someone. in this case. Instead of doing that, he decides to let her go into the library with full access to the entire library. The story also goes that she outwitted Alden, of all people, Alden, into going to inside the library. And this is worth quoting here. Let me read it to you real quick. At the end, she agreed to stay, but even Alden failed sorry about that, failed in knowing her true intentions. Who cares about the human experiments? I only care about Arthur's passage through the time portal. Wow. You have if you know the story, you could only imagine all the implications that will bring in story-wise. Because if you finish the campaign, at the very end of the campaign, you're gonna face Macabre. And Macabre, when he's defeated, he actually escapes through a time portal, through the same time portal, you could say, of Arthur's time portal. So the implications of that actually happening in the future, all the different things that could happen, are limitless. Anything could happen. She could meet Macabre. She could meet the past heroes of Antia. She could possibly meet the god of Naya, whichever that entails. The possibilities are endless there in that situation because it is a time portal. So, but it isn't worth mentioning that what she said at the end, who cares about the human experiments? I only care about Arthur's time portal, pretty much. So that's pretty much like saying, oh, I don't care what the Nazis did to the Jews. I just want to meet Hitler. So yeah, she's just really cold. She's really not really empathetic about anybody at this point in that situation. She only wants to know more at all costs. So yeah, that means she is full on dark. So she has been affected by the dark forces in her books and her stories. So definitely worth the dark mana symbol there on that part. So I'm really eager to see what's gonna happen next. Hopefully they mention her in more episodes or more chapters of the campaign. Who knows what will happen there. Pretty cool stuff. Alright, so let's talk about the character real quick.
I dream of going to the
So
Light
her
Tower
ability
Library.
is very similar to many of the church heroes, which is pretty much do extra damage if it's a weaker element. But her main ability is that she dispels debuffs from the allies. This is super important because this is the very first dispeller that Purple has in the entire game. So we're going to talk about the implications a little bit later, but let's first talk about the awakenings. So the first awakening, it brings in the shields, pretty much like Isadora's awakening when she's full of mana for 3 turns. So that's pretty cool. And that can enable you to add her in a few shield teams too. Then that's the 10% for HP like usual. And then this is really good for her. Decreases mana required to cast skills by 20. So that's pretty much she's going to be a little bit faster than fast speed. So right now she is average. So that's, according to my testing, it's a little bit faster than fast. So that's pretty nice. And that's gonna help you a lot. Keep the spelling over and over when necessary. And then the last one, as a 4-star hero, it's only gonna be the 4th, which is the plus 10 again. So pretty cool. So I would have expected this to be even lower mana, like Ruby does, and then even more less mana there, even faster. But the extra shields, that actually gives her a little bit more flexibility on defense, which is interesting. So I like that a lot, that's for sure.
Where
So
is the god of Naya?
let's see here. So the main place I think that she's going to do incredibly well is on Titan. So we're going to talk about that right now. Sadly, we don't have the Yellow Titan, but let's imagine this guy is the Yellow Titan. And do remember that the Yellow Titan likes to uh, bring in a debuff, which makes you not gain life and not gain shield. So having Dana now available as a dispeller, for example, in the past I would need to like bring in Alia, then cleanse, and then turn on Drago, and bring in shields, and hopefully I'll be able to go off again with Alia again, and so forth. But now that you have Dana here, you can theoretically like do a team like this, because Caitlyn got a huge buff in the last update. So you can first turn on Dana when you have all the entire team on debuffs or whatever, and whichever way you want, and then activate Caitlyn to bring in the heals and 25 lifesteal there, and then you can bring in Drago to bring in the shields. So that's pretty nice, especially since you're playing on Titans. Even though Dana is a 4-star, she's gonna get 50% less damage and gonna do 50% more damage. So that's a huge advantage now with versus the Yellow Titan for sure. Because no matter how good the hero is, if it's not purple, it's gonna be less effective there. So that's something definitely to take care of there. So if you like to go more damage, you can bring in another purple. I don't have a lot of purples here. You can bring a lot of purple like Damon here. Damon is gonna bring in a lot of damage with the tiles in time, but with the cleansing and the shields, you can probably try to kill him really quickly. If you want to go safe, you can go Theo. He doesn't do a lot of damage, but he'll help out a little bit. This guy is amazing in the Yellow Titans as well, because he's already immune to all that, so it's a lot of flexibility there. Yeah, you can definitely play around now with purple, because purple has all the entire setup, everything that needs to do to actually kill a Yellow Titan, thanks to Dana now. So just for that reason alone, that's 100% reason to get Dana on your roster for sure. So yeah, for Titan, she is amazing. It's no secret there. So for Arena, some people may think she's not good in Arena, but she does have her uses. Like for example, on a Red Streak team, let me see here, we could do like this, and add Dana, the secondary one. Where's Dana? And then you can bring in Cassandra, and maybe add in Philia. Where are you, girl? Oh, here we go. And there you have a Rainbow team for defense, right there. And Dana will add in damage, because she's supposed to be a damage dealer, so she could bring in damage. So and cleanse at the same time, so that's pretty cool. So you have like 4 red streaks, 1 purple that is cleansing and doing damage, so that's pretty nice. It could be one team. And another team that you can actually do with her, since she has her awakening with shields, is a shield team. So you can bring in this guy here, maybe Rilia, and maybe this guy here, and then bring in her. You can do it a little bit more my style, which is the Sedora, because the Sedora also gets shields when she goes up. And if you want to go the full damage team, you could do like this, and then bring in Dana. So yeah, definitely something definitely can be played around for sure, because she'll get the shields, and Midas and Malfour and Rilia and all that, they're gonna have shields on their own, so that's pretty cool. I already have all 3 heroes here that can hold the whip in any time, so Lots of options in that team too, so that's pretty cool too. So that's something you can definitely play around with. So, I think that Dana is going to be useful in every single part of the game. Though I do want to talk about her weapon first. Her weapon, because I did get it by the offer that they had here. So it says here 20% for Dana, but it's actually when the weapon is fully upgraded, it's 34% more damage when dealing with a weaker element. So they definitely intend her to do damage. So you can give her an attack weapon, possibly. Attack weapons in intelligence, there's not a lot of attack weapons actually. You can give her. Let me show you real quick here. You can give her, in case that you are able to, give her the weapon for Zeus, which may give her a little bit of crit. That's one option. Or maybe give her Cassandra's weapon, which gives her even more damage, which is for weaker elements, things like that. And if you have it, I don't recommend getting this weapon, but if you have it, you can give her Ruby's weapon, if you have it. So there is options for her. If you want to go the damage dealing part. If it's shields, then that's the whole thing of weapons. You can give her Percival's weapon, things like that. So it's pretty cool. You can get definitely. We did definitely need to test her out to see how much damage, how much we can push her to give damage. That's something we definitely need to give it a try later, for sure. I'm definitely gonna level her, though right now I don't have it level her completely. I do believe she is gonna be a good hero, and it is gonna be very useful in Titans. So in everything else, she is serviceable. She is not crazy. She's not the best hero in other things, but I think she's gonna be really good in Titans, incredibly good. So that's definitely something that you definitely gotta look out for, because Titans is a thing. And in past experience, the developers will gonna make Titans even harder with better rewards and things like that. So it's better to have all those teams ready and go when they decide to do that. Alright, so final thoughts on Dana.
I dream of going to the Light Tower Library.
I really like this hero. For Titans, she can be played around with arena and things like that. So that's a fun part about her. I don't think she's gonna be so good in campaigns and all the other parts of the game, but you can use her if you have to. But we really do have to test it, because if, for example, if you're going to go in arena, I forgot to mention this, you can bring in like Ruby over here,
And I'm Ruby.
that do 45% less damage, debuff on the enemy. If you bring her in, you're gonna do 20% more damage, thanks to Dana as well. So Ruby can target the purple heroes, and then Dana can target the yellow heroes. So that's a nice thing about the Naya heroes. You have purple and yellows, so you can play around with them as well. So that's pretty cool.
I dream of going to the Light Tower Library.
So do I recommend her? Yes, 100%. You have to get her, because she's the only purple cleanser. You have to have that type. These types of heroes are very niche in purple. If you want to go mono, you're definitely gonna need her. That's for sure. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great day. Bye bye.